We are back for another episode of My Team Career Mode. Here we are then for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix round number 8. And of course, once again, probably a win for me or my teammates, as we have won all Grand Prix this season. As you can see, we have a few days until we are at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Of course, our car is maxed out except for one upgrade on the durability, so we can make our car faster. We just need to be fast everywhere we go, everywhere we use the car, of course. And if we have a bad weekend, then it's all up to us. We can't make any excuses that our car is bad because it's maxed out. And we are the best team, I think. It's really close at the top because everybody is maxing out, as you can see. So there's no difference in between us and Red Bull, Mercedes, Ferrari behind. The gap to the back markers is really big. As you can see, only one upgrade to do. But you can see Alfa Romeo is a really big gap to them. So they are real back markers. I don't know why they are so far behind. It's just that they are not upgrading. Probably because their facilities aren't at Spec 3 yet, as we are forwarding time to get towards the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about those back markers just sitting behind, not upgrading. Is it because of the money, or is it just because the game has told, I don't know, a few teams like, you need to be behind, you need to be behind? Because it would be fine if Williams would be like the new world champion in Season 4, Season 5. But of course, if they don't upgrade, they can't become world champion. So yeah, and let me know in the comments down below what you think of our livery. Of course, it's still the same as it was at the beginning of the season. But maybe you think like it needs to change up a bit. Just let me know and I will change it maybe in one of the coming episodes. Maybe my home race at Spa-Francorchamps. Maybe episode number 70, 75. We still have a lot of videos to go. But as you can see, durability morale has gone down because we headed to the simulator and not attended a meeting. But yeah, that happens sometime, and yeah, you have to live with it. Of course, it doesn't matter too much to morale because the car is already maxed out. Okay, so I told you guys about the car that is maxed out and stuff, but as you can see, the car locks up immediately in turn 3. It also happened in turn 2, but it wasn't as showing as it was here in turn 3. And I noticed that it was not only in the first corner because my tires were cold, it was, as you can see here, once again, almost crashing into the wall and backing up. The tires, I don't know what's wrong with them, or I should say the brakes, because the brakes, they would go from 200 degrees to over 1000 degrees in, I don't know, the lightest step that you could give on the brakes. So I don't know if it's just an issue with my setup, because I took it from the fastest drivers in time trial, or it's just a problem with the game and Baku. Because I already recorded the episode after this in Silverstone, and I didn't have that problem there. So it's probably just the setup that I have with the car that I have. I don't know. It's not looking good for us with all those log-ups. But as you can see, first lap is done and it's only P19. So we need to improve. We need to go faster than we already are, because our time is just basically nothing. If we didn't do this time, it doesn't matter, as we are in our final lap here in Q1. You can see on the curves, and what I noticed as well is that the balance in the car was absolutely nothing. You could be in 6th gear, full throttle, and it would still sometimes spin out, or of course in the out laps it did, in the in laps it did. So you really have to catch it constantly. And that's really annoying as we go up to P13, and that's enough for us to end qualifying 1. You can see color sign is not even on pole, so the car isn't that OP anymore. We are just through in P16, So yeah, let's go on to the second part of qualifying. And as you can see, once again, we are here in Baku. Of course, it's not like we are going to Silverstone for Q2 and go to Austria for Q3. We are still on the same track. And as you can see, the temperatures, they went up crazy, like out of nowhere. They went really high. And here, once again, there was a moment of oversteer and of wheel spin that came out of nothing. Because normally you can do in fourth gear, as you can see here. You could go full throttle, but for some reason I couldn't. But luckily it's only in this episode that problem is happening. Maybe it's just a new bug. And as you can see, my tires overheated, or my brakes overheated after I did turn 1 in my in-lap. So I decided just to do a 180 as we are now in our second lap and final lap here in qualifying, or at least in this part of qualifying. We are currently still in P15, so it could be our final lap here in qualifying today. But we are improving by half a second. No, we are not. We are losing 2 tenths and we are up by 3 tenths. So it's going up and down quite a bit, making a few mistakes still. And luckily my time didn't invalidate here. Otherwise I would be out without having a chance of going for P10. But as you can see, we cross the line and it is only P16. So yeah, to be honest, I tried to go fast, but I just couldn't, because if I braked on my normal braking line that I would do in the previous seasons, then I would log up and go into the wall. So I decided not to do that and be a little bit more careful, and that has resulted in being 2 seconds a lap faster or slower than my teammate, and that is qualifying over for us. Hopefully the race is a bit better.
Good afternoon and welcome from Baku. This was the arena, if you think back to 2017, of one of the most eventful races of modern history, with controversy behind the safety car, last-second overtakes, and a historic podium for Williams and for Lance Stroll. Let's find out what lies in store for us this year. It's time for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Baku City Circuit then. It's an unpredictable 3.7-mile track around the streets of the Azerbaijan capital. 20 turns for our drivers to navigate today, including the infamous Turn 8, one of the tightest and most challenging corners of the season. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. It's Carlos Sainz in pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Perez, Ricciardo, Charles Leclerc and Russell, Fernando Alonso, Liam Lawson, Ocon and Daniel Ticktum, Gasly, Oscar Piastri, Alex Albon, Lightning, Magnussen, Schwartzman, Mick Schumacher and Yuki Tsunoda. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Joe, Stroll, Latifi and Lando Norris starts from the back of the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. It's race day yet again, and joining me for a chat is Anthony Davidson. And our racers are certainly in for a rough day today. What will you be watching out for as they head into turn 1?
Well, the start of the race is always one of the most nerve-wracking parts. You have to hope that everyone is able to get off to a clean start, and this is possibly the trickiest part of the entire race. So many drivers in such a small space, and finding your braking point into turn 1 as well. It's a testament to the driver's skill that there aren't more incidents.
Here we go then, it's time for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. It's 26 laps and it's lights out and away we go. As you can see, I have something else on my screen right now with all the names on the left hand side. Let me know if you want this more. I tried it just once now, but if you want it more often in videos, then let me know, because I will of course make the videos as much as you guys like. I will improve things where I can. And this is maybe one improvement, maybe not, but we are underway. As you can see, my teammate is leading as we are trying to overtake Mick Schumacher in the Aston Martin. As we are still side by side going into the next corner, still side by side, but luckily we can out-traction him and into P16 we go. And we threw, oh boy, negative VP is out. Is this a safety car? Maybe, yes, it's a virtual safety car actually. I tried to overtake the heart of Robert Schwartzman, but unfortunately the virtual safety car deployed a bit too early. And as you can see, going into turn 2 in lap 2, it's once again green flag running. It's returned to racing speed, and of course that means that we have to have a little bit of wheel spin. One of the Mercedes is into the pits. I think that's Yuki Tsunoda. But hey, don't worry about him. We are here for our own race. As we are going for the move here on Robert Schwarzman. Down the inside we go. Maybe a bit dirty, but hey, don't worry about it. It's still not the best race that we've ever had, as we are still in P15. Almost doing a chance player there. And as you can see, it's absolutely brutal, this track, just because if you make a small mistake, the flow is entirely gone, and you could lose around a second, maybe 2 seconds in just a few corners time. We did have a third sector purple, but that's only because it's just a long straight. As you can see in lap 3 we are going for the overtake on Magnussen. Of course, maybe not in this. Maybe we are. Oh, are we going for it? Oh, there's a log up. There's a log up, and it's Fernando Alonso out. Oh my god. Oops. I'm sorry to Magnussen. As you can see here, Fernando Alonso locks up and goes into the wall. So I'm not the only person locking up. And there goes Magnussen. Yeah, when I was racing, I was laughing quite a lot because I didn't see that coming. It was just because I had a log up that this happened. But yeah, Magnussen and Alonso are both out of the race. Yeah, I'm sorry to Magnussen, but it happens. If I didn't go off the racing line, then I'd crash into Magnussen myself, and we would be all 3 out of this race. So yeah, that is safety car done. Safety car is coming in this lap. So we are going for the overtake on Albon. Can we get a good restart? We'll find out in just a second, as we are now up into P13. But we want points, of course. If we lose too many points, then we won't be in contention for the title anymore. Of course, we already have around the gap of 60 seconds to my teammate who is leading. But Alexander Albon squeezes me into the wall almost, but we are 3 wide going into turn 1. We gain the position. Never mind, we are still side by side, but going into turn 2, we still have the inside line. We push him a bit towards the outside, and that's job done. We are now up into P12. Still not where we want to be, but it's better than nothing. So actually, oh no, never mind, it's P11. What happened? I don't know. I thought it was the battle for P12. So yeah, we are now in P11, and we are trying to overtake Oscar Piastri. Maybe here around the outsides. Can we do it? I think we do. Almost going into the wall, but hey, we don't. So we can just continue our race up into the points. We are now in lap 7 of 26. So still a long way to go. But I had hoped that this wouldn't happen because we lose time. And that I would be a bit further up in lap 7. Maybe somewhere around P8, P7, P6. Because we need all the position that we can get. But because, of course, our car locks up almost every corner, we lose a lot of time. No warning there, even though we went over track limits. But hey, if the game doesn't give us a warning, then we don't have to worry about it. As you can see, the gap to Tictum ahead is a second. So can we try to overtake him in the coming laps? Well, no, because as soon as we get close to somebody, we make a mistake, or my tires just give up, and that means that we lose a lot of time. You can see the gap is now up to 2 seconds, so as I've told before, you can lose a lot of time just by locking up one corner or taking the wrong angle into another corner, just like this. You can see it ruins the next one, and then you lose time once again. The gap is back up to 2 seconds, and so it's a really difficult task for us to make sure that we can get higher up, as it happens almost every lap. And it's not, I can confirm this, it's not because I'm braking too late, because I brake way earlier than the AI. It's not because I have damage or something. It's just because, I don't know, the car locks up for some reason, and now my teammate is behind me. We are in lap 14, and yeah, in the recordings you don't have to see this. It's just because I am telling you this so that you know this. We let our teammate through, that you can see, but I had almost rage quit around lap 9, lap 10, because I was done with all the lockups. So I decided to just take a pause for 15 minutes. I had to cut it out because otherwise you couldn't see a thing as we are coming out of the pits. And I thought maybe it was just the mediums, maybe it was just the softs, and the hards would be better. But yeah, I can tell you it wasn't. As we are driving out of the pits, this is our first out lap, and it's just worse than the other two tires. So yeah, I tried to do what every other person would do and just end this race in 26 laps. But yeah, as you can see, damage, and this was my bucket was full, so I rage quit it, as you can see, doing a 180 and turning the car off. This is the first time I think that I've ever done this, but I was done with this race. It was so annoying, and you can see retire from the session.
And so ends another Azerbaijan Grand Prix. A fascinating race and a well-deserved victory. What do you think it was today, Ants, that gave them the edge over the competition?
Well, you know what they say, to finish first you have to finish. And that fact was clear today, with lots of retirements having a big effect on the outcome of the race. As a driver, you tend to keep reliability concerns to the back of your mind and just focus on what's in front of you. But for the teams, races like this can be very stressful.
Here comes your top three, making their way down to the podium for what can only be described as a fantastic day for Formula One.
And of course, only one person can win, and it's my teammate. So yeah, I did something that I wouldn't consider doing in any other race, but I was done with it. So I decided to just retire the car. I wasn't getting any points after I took that damage. So yeah, not the best race for us. Hopefully Silverstone is better. Of course, I already know, and I can tell you it's better than a DNF. So yeah, you don't want to miss that one. You can see my teammate in P1, a Red Bull double podium in P2 and P3. Once again, 25 points for Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc in P4. Our main rival at the moment is Leclerc because he's only a few points ahead of us, but this result hasn't helped us at all with getting that position up compared to him. So hopefully Carlos Sainz will have a worse second half of the season for us to become a double Drivers' World Champion. For the team, well, he can just win every race from this till the last one to make sure that we are champion. But yeah, we want to do a better thing than rage quitting. So I don't know, maybe we need to practice a bit more. Maybe we just need to get good. I don't know what's wrong. It's maybe just a circuit. It's not my best circuit, but yeah, we need to improve, and that's one thing that I can tell you. So maybe we can do some live streams where I just go and practice for a few hours. I can do a few open lobbies, and yeah, that will happen in a few weeks time. But now it's done with this video. If you haven't joined the Discord yet, then you can do that in the description down below. If you haven't subscribed yet, then please do, as we are on our way to 250 subscribers. Currently 9 subscribers away from that goal. So if you want to help me, then please like and subscribe. Join the Discord, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.